Hi guys, welcome back to Reserved Investments. So about a week ago, I did a video on the fallacy of speculating and or investing in modern era video games with an emphasis on factory sealed video game hoarding, basically for the systems like the Nintendo Switch, the 3DS, the Wii U, PlayStation 4, even PlayStation 3, Xbox One, a lot of your newer video game systems that people are thinking that because vintage video games are so in demand, or thought to be, that a lot of the stuff that's being released today by Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo will become worth money down the line. Well, in that particular video, and if you haven't watched it, I do encourage you all to watch it. I think it's like 30 minutes long. Thus far, the video has over 100 views on YouTube, which is pretty substantial because this channel only has something like 94 subscribers at the time that I'm creating this video. That said, the video goes into a lot of detail and technical analysis as to why I think speculating and or investing in modern era factory sealed and or otherwise video games and systems is a fool's game. Well, Nintendo just released, and I want to point this out because this is kind of like a follow-up to that video, on September 4th, the new Nintendo Direct specifically should have driven home some of the points that I made in that video. And I have two items, one in the background, one in the foreground, that I'm going to show you guys what I'm referencing. But Nintendo is re-releasing two popular Nintendo franchise games, one that first appeared on the Nintendo Wii, and one that premiered solely on the Nintendo Wii U and was almost forgotten, are getting what is called definite editions to be released on the Nintendo Switch. The first of which is the wonderful original Xenoblade Chronicles. This is a VGA copy of the first printing, which is a 95 in VGA terms. That said, when this game came out, it kind of flew under the radar a little until people started picking it up and realizing, wow, this is an awesome game. So Nintendo did another favor to the video game collecting community, or a disfavor if you're a speculator, and they released this game for the new Nintendo 3DS system, of which I bought at one time 10 copies because I got them on clearance for $29.99, and I have two of them graded. I do have the Nintendo 3DS version of this graded as well. It's also a VGA 95. And I have another one that is a VGA 90, I think, as well, which I think I did get an offer for on eBay. That may have sold. I would have to check. That said, the Xenoblade Chronicles games are incredible if you are a Japanese role-playing fan. I can tell you, if I had the time, these are the type of games that I would be playing for any system, whether it be modern era or vintage. I love like Dragon Warrior, Final Fantasy, and especially Xenoblade. They're some of my favorite games. That said, a lot of the people that are speculating in items like this are not looking at what's happening to the video game marketplace as we enter 2020 and beyond. A lot of manufacturers are coming in and they're re-releasing a lot of the games that came out within the past even 10 to 20 years that may have had a limited print run and or are scarce on the marketplace today. You know, it's no coincidence. If you pick up a Super Nintendo Classic Edition, Earthbound is automatically on that system. Well, there's really no need to go out and have to purchase a cartridge-only copy of Earthbound, or worse yet, a complete in-box version for, you know, $600, $700, $800, and I'm not going to even talk about what a factory-sealed copy of Earthbound goes for. That said, the other announcement that Nintendo made was this, in case you guys missed it, okay? This is the special edition Tokyo Mirage Sessions FE Nintendo Wii U Original. This was one of the few games left, and there are some more, I'll name them in a minute, that was a Nintendo Wii U exclusive. I really hate to say this, guys, but the Nintendo Wii U isn't going to be as big as a collectible in 10, 20 years that a lot of you guys think, because all the games that are coming out for it, much as the case with Mario Kart 8, Hyrule Warriors, and even games that really didn't get that much publicity in the marketplace, like Bayonetta 2, were already released on the Nintendo Switch in some form. I see that trend continuing. I really think Nintendo is going to eventually, at some point, re-release either a Pikmin trilogy, which will have the coveted Pikmin 3 on it, or they're going to do something with Super Mario 3D World and possibly Xenoblade Chronicles X. Now, to be fair to all the critics out there, they did make a statement regarding Xenoblade Chronicles X that the developer would love to have it premiere on either Nintendo Switch or some other console sometime in the future. That said, the cost to translate that game and rework it for a newer console is substantial, according to the development team that created the original Xenoblade Chronicles X, which is arguably one of the best Japanese role-playing games for the Nintendo Wii U system. Okay? That said, I don't know if that one will slip through the cracks, and then maybe that will be the next big game to have that came out for the Nintendo Wii U and wasn't available on any other system. But I want to caution the people who are thinking in that manner. You have to remember, they could still make the game as a download-only variant, not only on the Nintendo Switch, but, you know, when the follow-up to the Nintendo Switch finally hits North American shores or what have you, they could do a Xenoblade Chronicles translation. The code is still out there, okay? So you have to be very careful, guys, if you're speculating on this stuff, because really, Nintendo is releasing a Nintendo Direct that's pretty much directly telling you that speculating on a lot of these games is pretty much stupid at this point, because they're continually putting out a lot of their past catalog of games on newer systems, whether they be beautiful physical versions, digital downloads only, or somewhere in the middle where they just re-released the game entirely. Okay? So when you analyze the market for this stuff, just know that's a significant risk for somebody who is speculating in this stuff or investing in it long term, especially with the other amount of people out there that are doing the same thing, because they're sitting at home watching CNBC, MSNBC, or Fox News, whatever, and they're seeing that a factory sealed Kid Icarus went for $9,000. Well, gee, my factory sealed copy of Super Mario Odyssey for the Nintendo Switch might be worth money 10, 20 years down the line. Now, if you watch this channel, you know that the opportunity cost of holding an item of that nature that's very speculative for that amount of time is completely stupid. There's no fundamentals that back up holding mass-produced, factory-sealed video games that are produced in today's day and age for 10, 20 years down the line and thinking you're going to have something rare and collectible. It's just not going to happen. But yet there's a growing number of people who are still doing it. They're doing it with Lego sets, okay? Completely ridiculous. Look, right here, I'll show you guys. This is the so-called coveted $200 Boba Fett's Slave One Collector's Edition of the Slave One ship, okay? People are literally hoarding these, thinking that once these go out of print, which I think they already are almost out of production, if I remember correctly, the price is going to skyrocket. Yeah, to be fair, you may find these listed on eBay and Amazon for $300 to $400. But after you subtract eBay fees, Amazon fees, PayPal fees, and that's assuming even you sell them at that price, plus factor in shrinkage, meaning there's a lot of people, especially on Amazon, that will have no problem buying an item like this from you as a third-party seller, even through, if you're through FBA, which is fulfillment, sorry guys, by Amazon, okay? And they'll steal the minifigures, and then they'll do a return on this item, send it back to you as is, and guess what's going to happen? Amazon's going to take their side, because Amazon's all about the buyer, not about the seller, okay? So when you factor in all your wonderful costs of shrinkage, of the fact of fees being deducted, storage costs, maintenance fees, all these other costs factor in, you guys really are not making as much as you think you are. And I know that for a fact because I also sell under the Electro Games name, both on eBay and Amazon. So I have my wonderful logs where I can prove that to you. okay? So I'm using that as an example because there's a lot of people that are doing stupid stuff with modern mass-produced collectibles, and they're thinking because an item is factory sealed in 2019, it's going to be sought after and valuable in 2029 or 2039. Not realizing two things. Number one, everyone else has that same opinion and assessment, so they're hoarding this stuff in mass. And number two, in 2029 or 2039, if you're 30 or 40, or even if you're 20 watching this channel, do you know how much, if you live just a normal life, your life is going to change in 10 to 20 years? If you go out there and you do something, you focus on a career, focus on building a business, you're probably not going to care too much about the video games and the Lego sets that you have sitting in a closet. And if you do get 20 years out and you do decide that you still care about those items, I would honestly, strongly, and I don't mean this to sound rude because I'm 42, you can see what's sitting in front of me, okay? But I would strongly urge you to refocus some of the energies in your life to learning finance, economics, business building, whatever you need to do. Like I said in some of my other videos, if you want to be a sophisticated investor, whether it be in the financial markets and real estate, antiques and collectibles, all three, or you want to be someone like me who is a commenter who writes for Antiques and Auction News, knows a lot about antiques, collectibles, pop culture collectibles, historical documents, artwork, coins, currency, whatever your poison is, okay? Whatever your poison and passion is in life, okay? If you want to be something like that, you eventually have to branch out and learn other markets, guys. Focusing solely on video games and the fact that, oh my gosh, the Nintendo Wii U didn't sell that great. I'm going to buy all the stuff that's factory sealed and just sit it in a storage unit or a closet for 10 to 20 years thinking it's going to become the next big thing. I got news for you. Everybody on YouTube, everybody on Facebook that is involved in the vintage and modern era video game collecting community is already doing that. The amount of stuff that's going to be pulled out of storage units, out of closets, basements, attics is going to be massive in the next 10 to 20 years. That's what killed comic book collecting in the 1980s. And I always love when somebody reaches out to me and goes, Sean, you don't understand. I saved my vintage comic book collection. I have an amazing Spider-Man 300. Okay? That's great. But did you add up and all the 3 long boxes of comic books that you brought me, you spent $500 on all this other crap that you can't even get a quarter for at a yard sale. So now you send off your amazing Spider-Man 300 off to CGC to get graded, and it comes back a 9.4. Guess what? Investors of that comic book, they want a 9.8 because there's too many out there. So your 9.4 is worth what? 200, 300 on a good day? Come on. Really? And you spent $500 to have 3 long boxes of comic books from the 1980s that you thought would be worth money 10 to 20 years out. Well, here's the problem. Everybody was speculating in those books. The few handful of books from the 1980s and 90s in comic book realm that are worth money today pretty much broke through the barrier of being an iconic book from that era. It was not everything that was published. But if I take you back in a time machine, we go to a comic book shop in 1988, I assure you, you're going to walk in, you're going to see all these books with holofoil or variant covers. And you're going to be like a kid in a candy store, and you're going to pay $1 to $1.50 a comic book, and everybody else in that store is doing the same thing, and everybody thinks 10 to 20 years out, it's either going to pay for my retirement, me starting a business, if you're married, my kids are going to go to college based on these books. It never happened, guys. It's the same thing with Lego, with a lot of the mass-produced toys that are coming onto the market, video games, all this stuff, it's all in the public consciousness. You cannot turn away from it. If you turn on ABC News, CBS News, NBC News, CNBC, whatever alphabet soup of a news media conglomerate you want me to cite, everybody has been exposed to Kid Icarus, factory sealed from 1988, just sold for $9,000. Sticker sealed, Super Mario Brothers, rare game from 1985, the test market sticker sealed variant, sold for $100,000. Okay? All this stuff is in the public consciousness. We can't put the genie back in the bottle. Okay? everybody knows that there are certain antiques and collectibles out there that are worth money in today's marketplace. And everybody, almost everybody, who has no fundamental understanding of how the greater antiques and collectibles marketplace works, how it moves in fashions, how tastes change, and the fundamentals behind it, is speculating all in the same stuff that a lot of the people out there that are watching this video right now that are going to disagree with me on my assessment here are also speculating in. You will never, ever make money following the herd, okay? I've said this before. My success back in the 1990s came from two things. It was a black swan event, to use that term. When eBay came on the scene, when I had the knowledge and the ability to go out and buy systems of like Atari, Intellivision, ColecoVision, that coveted pre-Nintendo era that was big at the time. It's just nobody had smartphones. Nobody was exposed to this stuff. People were making a lot of money on eBay at that time, guys. Even me, I knew it was going to end. That's why I had to branch out and started to learn coins, currency, American antique glass, glass bottles, Tiffany glass, historical documents, all the stuff that some of you guys think is boring or uninteresting. But guess what? That's the stuff that was the best long-term investment overall. I was not one of the guys paying $250 for Chase the Chuck Wagon with a manual, or trying to freaking buy Crazy Climber for the Atari 2600 when it was $115 for the cartridge only. People were coming to me and I would be honest with them. I would tell you, if you want this stuff, I'll gladly sell it to you. But do not expect it to be a valid investment 20 years down the line. Well, today, we're 20 years down the line, okay? Back in 1999, 20 years from then is now, 2019. This stuff did not work out to be a valid investment. There are people, I know Atari collectors personally. I'm never going to mention their name because they were clients of mine and we still keep in touch, okay? That said, they have a wall full of Atari stuff that they just shake their head at when they walk into the freaking room because, yeah, it's part of their childhood, they relate to it, but they spent tens of thousands of dollars to accumulate it, where if they had to take the time to sell that collection today, it would net them close to $5,000 to $10,000 altogether, not realizing that 20 years passed where if all they spent back in 1999 or whatever, accumulating that collection was $5,000 or $10,000 at the time, if they would have put that into an S&P Index 500 fund or another similar financial asset, they would be sitting on $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 now. Instead, they're entering a room full of all old games that can easily be emulated, can easily be purchased much cheaper than what they bought them at, and can easily, in most cases, be replaced. Okay, guys? So all is what I'm saying with this video is, you know, a lot of people that watch this channel and write letters or emails to me for my articles in Antiques and Auction News claim that I'm somehow attacking the modern era collecting realm or marketplace. I am not. As I've said before, you got your life together and you want to fill up a room, you want to make a Lego room with awesome sets like this, factory sealed, one built, whatever, and your house is pretty much paid off, you have no car payment, no school loans, whatever, by all means, go for it. I love watching videos like that on YouTube, man. It's just like the same people that fill up their whole room. You guys saw some of my other videos where I show you my video game room and my Lego room. There's nothing wrong with that, but just make sure your other finances are in order. Make sure also, if you're collecting and investing in antiques and collectibles, that's not your primary, what do I want to say, investment, because it's not an investment, or collectible, to where if you need money, I've said this before, there's a lot of other areas in the antiques and collectibles marketplace where if you have money invested in those realms, coins and currency is a good one. It's extremely liquid, okay? Now, do I recommend that you sell if you need money? No, I would much rather you be fully established in your personal life, where if you need cash, you have $10,000 at least sitting in a money market account where you can pull out of that and it doesn't require any transaction fees. And what I mean by that, guys, is let's say that you sell this game on eBay or you sell a coin on Heritage Auctions, okay? No matter what kind of working relationship you have with Heritage Auctions and or eBay, they're going to take a transaction fee, whether it be a seller's premium, whatever. They're going to charge you a fee to sell that item and liquidate it, okay? You don't want to be stuck in that position. You have to have investments, and then you also have to have cash on the side so that if you need money, you can get to money without having to be dependent upon what the greater market's doing for whatever asset class we're talking about. Stocks, bonds, ETFs, mutual funds, gold, silver, video games, coins, currency. Because if the market's low in the items that you're holding and you have no choice but to liquidate because you need cash, you're going to lose money over the long term. That's what speculators sometimes don't understand. And that's why they get slammed when they start going full heavy into stuff like factory seal video games. Okay? I have a whole stack of these sitting here, by the way, guys. It's a factory sealed Zelda, Ocarina of Time for the Nintendo 3DS. I got these on clearance, by the way. Okay? A lot of this stuff, even Magic the Gathering. Okay? I have a whole video plan coming up on Magic the Gathering. All right? I do not agree with people going out and buying case after case of Modern Horizons, War of the Spark, any of the new sets. Because here's what the thing, guys. You have to be willing to sit on that for 2 to 5 years and hope that the price goes up. Yes, Magic the Gathering is a hot speculative collectible right now. Okay? That said, if you're putting all your money in factory seal booster boxes, something happens to you in your financial life, or an opportunity comes by where you need cash to take advantage of that opportunity, guess what? You now have to sell those items that you're speculating on because you put all your money into them at a possible loss, okay? Be very careful what you guys are doing. Be very careful whose advice you take and how you act on that advice, okay? There's a lot of great people on YouTube. Okay, a lot of great people on YouTube. That said, there's also people on YouTube that I watch roll my eyes, and these are the people that ironically come into the comment section on my videos and criticize me for trying to get you guys just to see that there's a whole other world of investing, of living life where your money can grow with still some risk, but less risk than going out and buying, 30 copies of Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, the Nintendo Selects Edition, for $19.99, thinking, well, after the Nintendo 3DS is retired, someone's really going to want this and they're going to pay a premium for it. That may be so, but what's the opportunity cost of holding on to this item until that day comes? A lot of you guys are not correctly, and I don't mean to be rude, I'm being serious here. A lot of the people that speculate in toys, video games, comic books, Lego sets have no understanding of what that money can be doing in other markets, whether that be financial markets, real estate, or even other categories of the greater antiques and collectibles trade. Use this as an example since we're almost approaching the end of this video. For someone like me, I'm not going to spend $1,000 or $1,500 on factory seal video games at their original retail price at a store, okay? I will take advantage of a retailer closeout. I will take advantage of a distributor closeout that I do sometimes get brought into because I know people in that realm. I will take advantage of other flash sales, like Square Enix is a good example. Square Enix has a physical store on the internet where they sell physical copies of their games. Well, right around Christmas time sometimes, they'll do a sale where they'll clear out a lot of their older games and inventory. I got Chrono Trigger for the original Nintendo DS system, factory sealed, for $6. $6, guys, on the Square Enix store a couple of Christmases back, okay? That's something that I will take advantage of. That said, if I have $1,500, I'm more likely to spend that on a coin, what I call an investment grade coin, a piece of currency, put it towards a collectible first edition book, or a historical document. You want to know why, guys? Because there's no speculation in those markets. The average person cannot afford to buy 10 1880 Carson City Morgan silver dollars at $1,500 a piece for that particular coin in MS Mint State 65. okay? So there's very little speculation in that marketplace. I know if I'm buying a coin that I'm confident in, that I'm looking at, that I'm bidding on, if I buy that and I ever need to sell it, I can at least get my $1,500 back. And that includes the buyer's premium that I paid, the shipping, and all. That said, if I go to the store and I buy a $19.99 game of Zelda Ocarina of Time, okay, and I buy 100 of these, I have no idea how long it's going to take me to get my money back, if I can even sell them at a profit. Then I have to also do a lot of work in regards to list these on eBay, pack and ship each one individually, pay eBay fees, pay PayPal fees. Is it worth it? That's all that I'm saying. I'm not against the fact that a lot of people love this stuff. I love it too. I told you guys this. I'm a huge video game fan. I'm a huge Lego fan. I'm a huge comic book fan. But it's completely crazy that people are taking a credit card with 6, 7, 8, 9, 10% or higher interest. They're going out and they're buying a copy of Giant Size X-Men 1, CGC 9.4, investment grade, calling it investment, and willingly paying a credit card company interest to own an item that pays you no quarterly or monthly or yearly dividend or income. You're going into debt to buy this stuff? Think, guys. I know Christmas is coming. I know a lot of you guys, like me, are looking seriously at the Nintendo Switch Lite, at games like Luigi's Mansion 3, Link's Awakening. All these cool games are coming out, okay? All is what I want to tell you is, if you like them, you have the money to buy them if that's what you want to do. But two things. Understand the opportunity cost of tying up that money in that game, especially if you're going to open it and play, okay? And number two, just don't go into debt to buy it, okay? Make sure that you have the money, okay? I've said this before. A lot of people, they do stupid things, not only in the antiques and collectibles realm, but in the realm of finance as well. I've done stupid things, okay? I'm not criticizing anybody. I have a video coming up where I'll tell you guys, some of you guys think that, I don't know, I get some of the comments that think that I'm condescending or something when I do these videos. I've made a lot of mistakes. That's how I got here. The difference is, I was right and made a lot of better decisions than the mistakes I've made. That's how I got here, having what I have, okay? I want that same for you. That's why when I started this channel, you guys will notice, okay, we're almost approaching 30 minutes. So pretty soon I'm going to stop talking because now I'm going off on a rant. But you're going to notice something that I said in the beginning of this. I never expected to get a lot of views, a lot of likes, a lot of subscriptions through this channel. This channel is a practical thinking man's analysis out of how to analyze not only financial investments, but also focusing those financial investments in the greater antiques and collectibles trade. There's not one thing that you guys are doing out there that are speculating on comic books, video games, Lego sets, toys, the whole 9 yards that I haven't done, okay? I'm telling you, all right? That said, you have to do it smart, logically, and devoid of emotion. You can't go, Zelda's my favorite game. I'm going to buy 100 copies of this, Sean. I don't care whether you like it or not. That's money that can be used for something else. You're assuming past precedence is going to equal what's going to be desired in the future. That is not true. Just because a factory seal copy of Zelda Ocarina of Time for the Nintendo 64 goes for, you know, $800, if not more, if it's graded, today does not mean the 3DS version is going to sell for a premium in 10 to 20 years. Be careful with that, guys. The market is always changing and evolving, okay? And that's how I'm going to end this video. Again, if you like the content I produce, please consider subscribing. I think I'm like seven subscribers away from 100 subscribers. Please make my reality come true and just subscribe to this channel if you're one of those people that'll put me over the edge and get me to at least 100 subscribers. If you want to leave a comment, you want to leave a like, you want to leave constructive feedback, maybe you don't like me, that's fine too. Leave a comment in the comment section. If it's constructive feedback, I may read it and reply. If it's not constructive feedback, I'll just say, oh well, and then go about my day. Thanks, guys. Good night.